The Virtual Boys have been playing Nintendo since they were little. These many years of experience have made them experts in the field, or at least they think so. Join them this week as they talk about being fresh and staying off the hook. You're listening to the Virtual Boys podcast by Nintendo City. This podcast is done by four friends that talk about anything and everything Nintendo. Check out our website at nintendocity.com and be sure to follow us on your social network of choice. Please be sure to subscribe and share us with your friends. Oh, and please enjoy our show. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Virtual Boys podcast, a Nintendo podcast about Nintendo things. This is episode 58, and I'm your host, David, Team Ice Cream and Team Marina. Joining me today are Skylar.
Ice Cream!
And James.
Team Cake, and how could you go against Marina? I mean, well, how could you go with Pearl?
Well, you already did. You picked Team Cake.
You see that? That's okay, though. You can support the cake and not support the mascot, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there were many times when I chose Callie over Marie, you know. But
yeah, Skylar,
anyway.
jeez.
Well, so this week we're going to talk about the latest Splatoon 2 Direct that happened this morning. And then we'll go on to how we feel and our general impressions about the Breath of the Wild Master Trials expansion now that we've actually played it, since it came out right after we recorded last week's episode. Before we start, just want to remind you real quick to check out our Patreon page because these episodes are going up early as a reward for those that support us there. The link is down in the description. Also, we want to shout out to our newest partners that are helping us build a community and get our stuff out there. Thanks Nintendo Switch Network for agreeing to this partnership, and be sure to check out their website and start reviewing Switch games, which is their whole shtick. You can send in user-submitted reviews and all this awesome stuff. Their link is down in the description as well. All right, let's do this. I was really hoping one of you would say Leroy Jenkins, but that's okay.
That's an old meme.
Yeah, it's a really old meme. Anyway, we had a bit of a doozy this morning with the Splatoon 2 Direct. It was really fresh. I actually really liked it. But first and foremost, there's a Splatfest before the game even launches, which is awesome and funny. And so at the beginning of this episode, when we normally do our quotes, we said what team we were going to be on. I chose Team Ice Cream. Skylar, which did you choose?
Ice Cream.
And James?
He screamed at the top of his Ice Cream! No. Well, so I thought about this a long time. And part of it is the fact that everyone's saying ice cream, at least from what I could see. No.
So you're taking the hipster route.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I love cookies and cream ice cream. I love that to death. But have you ever heard of ice cream cake?
I was just about to say, why not combine the two?
You make
some purple, get some green pink mess in the middle.
Sure, you may be able to combine the two, but is it ice cream or is it cake? And I don't know. No, it's cake because it's ice cream cake. And so therefore, if I can get ice cream cake from being on Team Cake, I've already won. No,
you're the best of both worlds.
The ice cream won't let you have the ice cream, James. You can't
but at the same time,
both.
I know I can't have both. So I am choosing cake because you just can't beat a moist chocolate cake that has the beautiful chocolate fudge icing on top. Oh,
it sounds like you're describing the Costco chocolate cake, James.
Oh, that one is divine. That is delicious.
If it's store-bought, you can pretty much beat it with anything.
Well, not the Costco cake is different.
The store, it is different.
If you're talking about the Albertsons ones, oh yeah, that's garbage. Like that icing is terrible. But
talking about happy birthday Walmart cake.
Oh, that's okay. Yes, that is disgusting. I do not like that cake.
Yeah, you can't do that. I do not like it, Sam. I am.
See, even the off-brand ice cream tastes better than that.
It's true. No, It's true. And that would be a good case for Team Ice Cream. But I've already made my decision. Well, I guess I could still change the last minute before I vote. But I'm going with Team Cake, even though Pearl is apparently Team Cake as well.
Yeah.
There's so much against cake.
Yeah. You've got ice cream, which, is amazing. And here in Utah, we eat more ice cream per capita than any other place really in the world. So I imagine Utah is going to be mostly
Well, I guess Utah doesn't drink a whole lot of alcohol in certain
That's
areas.
true. I mean,
so
we could talk about the psychological implications of why we eat more ice cream here, but we eat more ice cream. That's the point I'm trying to drive. Anyway, but the Splatfest is going to be really cool. It's the 15th, I think. Is that what it said? The 15th from 4 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern or something like that? I'm trying to pull it up. Can either of you
believe that's right
for me?
Well, I mean, I think that's right.
It's going to be really cool because we've never really had something like this. And yes, I just saw it. Okay, it's from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific, not Eastern. But
yeah, it's Pacific,
anyway,
yes.
So it's really cool because we already had the splat test a few months ago, and that was really fun. But the fact that they're letting us do a Splat Fest before the game launches, I think that's a really cool way to get hype built up for this game, to give it another chance to give it a shot. Because I mean, we have more people now that have Switches than we did back when the first Splat test came out.
The test fire?
Oh yeah, the test fire. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move. I do think it's funny. Just get to kind of play the game before it comes out. I don't know. I don't know if you've really seen that before, but I'm down, and I'm excited that they're bringing Splatfest back like this. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And another thing that they mentioned in the Direct was that Splatfests will be going on for 2 years after the game's release, at least. Like,
that's great.
They've got them planned. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities to get that awesome Splatfest gear that we know we get from doing Splatfests. So I think it's a great move on Nintendo's part to get us going with this. So now that we talked about the Splatfest, what other general impressions did you guys have about the Direct itself? Like, did you like its presentation? Was it fresh enough? What do you guys think?
Overall, I thought it was okay, personally. I didn't like how much they focused upon stuff we already kind of knew, or they were from the last game. But I did like the new stuff they showed off, like the hamster bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought that was funny.
Unfortunately, that one's not coming until later. It's not a release item, but yeah, I mean, it's still really cool. It's just But anyway, what else? What else are you thinking? I mean, I totally agree with you on that. They spent a lot of time on things we already knew.
But hey, you can also do 4-player teams with friends and take it online.
Yeah, you can, and with the voice chat and all of that other stuff to build a team. And there's like team competitive modes now, right? With the League Battle.
Mm-hmm. They have League Battle, but you can also just take them online.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It kind of rewards you for playing with your friends.
Yeah,
very much so. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play. I mean, there are 4 of us here. I mean, Jordan doesn't really like Splatoon all that much, but there are 4 of us, and we could be a team, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah, man.
We'll win.
Mason's probably going to get it too. So.
Oh, sick.
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to get a digital or not, because I just don't know yet. I have to think about it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Real quick with the digital and physicals. I mean, I'll get the physical one, but I can see the appeal of the digital because you just have it whenever. But either way, I have plenty of slots in my case for games, so I think I'll be okay. Yeah. But going back to your original question about general impressions, I think like the average consumer, or excuse me, someone who hasn't had much experience with Splatoon, this is a really good Direct, and because it explained basically what they can expect from the sequel, and kind of give them an overview of the game itself, without revealing too much. Like,
I mean that's a really good point. I mean, the game launches in what, like 2 weeks or something like that. So, I mean, the game is so close to release that we're going to figure this stuff out eventually. So, having them talk about, some of the things that we already knew is kind of forgivable in the sense that it's coming out so soon that they want to make sure that people that have never played Splatoon know what's going on. Right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, totally. And I think they realized that not everyone had a Wii U, and there's probably a lot of people who own a Switch who didn't have a Wii U. So they're definitely kind of focusing on that audience in a sense with this. Now, for someone who has played Splatoon before, I'll admit, like, those parts were kind of boring. Although it was fun to see some of the new feature, or like some of the new implementations of old weapons and old features. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Skylar in the sense that it was a little boring at some points. But I think there were still enough surprises to make it a good direct.
Yeah, and I agree with that for sure. I mean, my thoughts are basically the same. I really enjoyed it. I mean, sometimes it can be hard for us that run this podcast and run this Nintendo news site, Nintensity.com, because we're watching it and we're also like covering it and writing articles as fast as we can to get it to go. I mean, I was doing a live blog of the thing, so it's like, a lot of listeners are listening to this episode of the podcast right now, and other people throughout the world that just watch the direct, they could kind of sit back, maybe tweet about a couple of cool things that they saw as it was happening, but they could enjoy it. We were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, but I gotta type, and all this other stuff. I mean, it's totally fine. I love doing it, and I'm happy to do it. It's just, we don't really get to just sit and enjoy directs as much as we used to.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, it's just the nature of gaming journalism, I suppose.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's fine. So, I think it was a good direct. It was pretty fresh. I mean, I think this might be my favorite Splatoon direct. That was just purely Splatoon.
I swear, David, if you say fresh one more time.
It was really fresh.
That's it. I'm gone. Cut it out. Goodbye.
Okay, I'll stop saying fresh. I just said it again.
No, it's fine. Well, I don't know if they'll be saying fresh very much in Splatoon 2, actually.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, I wanted to move on to, Pearl and Marina replacing Callie and Mari as the hosts of basically Splatfest and the news. What do you guys think about that? I mean, we're not going to stay fresh anymore.
So I was actually really surprised by this reveal because I thought they had mentioned previously that there was like a new band, and which this is, but a new band, and it would have and I thought I saw like a silhouette of like 4 members. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't expecting like 2 pop idol girls, but maybe I just missaw something, or I had to go back to previous.
Well, I remember that there is a band called Wet Floor, which is not the same band. So there are 2 bands, and Wet Floor has 5 members, and there is a new stage in Splatoon 2 that is what's it called, like an outdoor concert hall type thing where they do like rock concerts.
Venue.
Yeah, venue. That's the word. Thank you. And that's their home. That's like where they perform and stuff. And they showed this off like clear back in March or something like that. So, I mean, figured that's what it was.
I figured those guys would be the new faces, but I guess we get new squidlings. Well, I guess squid and octoling. Yeah, so yeah, it was a surprise, and it kind of like, I love how in the video he was like, I don't know what this is doing here or why this is made, but here you go. Like almost like it was an abomination.
like this. I have no idea what's going on here.
Just watch.
I was told to let it play.
So, and it shows like the kind of music direction the game will be taking, if we hadn't realized it already. But I don't know. It is different, and I'm sure I'll get used to the rapping and the I don't know, just the new style of music. But I will say that the character design, at least for Marina, is spot on, and they did a good job with that. Pearl, on the other hand, I mean, it is unique, or is unique to God. Like, it is a good design in a sense, but gosh, I just think,
it's such a contrast in my mind to Marina.
Yeah, that's true.
Know?
Marina's
and we
tall,
are used to,
she's kind of short.
Yeah, and we are used to, the Squid Sisters, how they looked very similar, but yet different. And I think that is also kind of a part of it.
Well, I'm fine with having different
the only
things.
Reason, but
yeah, I'm fine with having different things. It's just Pearl, I don't know, Pearl's just kind of, I don't know, just off-putting a little bit. Cringe-inducing.
It's those yellow eyes.
Mouse.
It's not the eyes, it's the forehead, man.
She looks like a mouse, dude.
She kind of does.
She just looks like a mouse.
You can land a plane on that forehead. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
I don't think they gave Callie and Mari enough time, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of have one game now that just kind of feels like they're dumping them.
Yeah, but they are going to be the stars of the story mode, which, I mean, that's cool,
well,
but it's
Mari
not as...
is.
Well, I mean... We're pretty sure that Mari is looking for Callie and will find Callie somewhere in the story, and she'll have done something crazy. I don't know.
I become an Octoling.
They keep making it like super secret. Like they talked about it for like literally 5 seconds. The story mode. And
she did a single with guest star artist DJ Octavio. That's the whole plot. You're just trying to stop her from making the biggest mistake of her life.
Don't do it. I think it'd be really cool if, Callie and Marie were to come back and kind of like switch off hosting the channel or the beginning TV show thing. But I don't know. Like, I guess I who was it? Skylar said it. I agree. I kind of feel like, it's too soon to move on, and obviously they'll be started in the single campaign, but I don't know. I wasn't ready to move on. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, most people don't even most people who don't have a Wii U have never even
and they're like, seen them who's yet. Kelly?
So they're probably like, wow, these characters are great.
Why am I supposed to care about these people?
That's what you get for not getting a Wii U.
Yeah, hey, you saved your money. I'm just kidding.
I mean, when I wrote about these two coming up, giving them a really short article, I did say that I am kind of excited to see how it's going to turn out with them, and I do like them. I mean, I definitely prefer Callie and Mari just because they were so awesome, in Splatoon 1. Especially, when you get towards the end of the story and you start having to talk with Agent 1 and Agent 2 in the campaign, and you get to learn more about them through that. But I don't know. I really think that these guys are going to do a good job. I mean, I'm talking about it as if they're actual people that are hosting this, but I think that they'll be a good fit for the game. It's really early for me to say whether or not it's going to be awesome and totally perfect or not. But
yeah.
And let's talk about their new catchphrase real quick. Don't get cooked, stay off the hook. I mean, what do you think about that?
It's
aren't
too
the Octolings, or like, aren't they supposed to be the superior race right now?
The Squidlings?
Who's hunting them?
Yeah, I don't know.
the poor Inklings. I mean, geez.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why she's an Octoling. I think it's cool that they added her as an Octoling, and honestly, that's one of my favorite things about Marina.
Well, I think what Skylar was trying to say was when they talk about the hook, like, who's hooking them?
Like, yeah.
Exactly. Like, who's hooking them? Like,
maybe
they're trying to catch them for food.
Maybe it's the salmon thingies. I don't know.
Oh no!
It's just an expression, like an odd one.
It must be.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I just haven't been feeling it yet. It's a little too long, but. I mean, maybe it'll catch.
They're fish, get it?
Yuck. Yeah, it's a lot longer than stay fresh. I think it'll end up working out. We'll probably get used to it, but as it stands right now, it's too different. So let's talk about some of the new things then that they revealed at the Direct, and how we feel about them. I want to talk about the new specials real quick. I mean, we've talked about them a little bit on the episode or on the podcast before, but they gave us some details about them, and particularly what some of them do. I mean, we knew about the what are their names? We knew about the Tentamissiles and the Inkjet, as well as the Stingray. And the Tentamissiles can lock on to all 4 Inklings on the other team if they're within sight. The Inkjet lets you fly around with a sick jetpack, and the Stingray can spray through walls. But the Baller, that's the new one. What do you guys think about the hamster wheel that rolls around and explodes on people?
I think it's fun, and it could bring in some new strategies. So, hey.
I think it's really silly, but I like that, so just rolling the hamster ball around. The other one that they showed off was everybody gets the armor.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
I
about
thought that was
one.
cool, too.
Like, they'd, get super armor, which totally looks like they stole it from Team Fortress 2, where they turn a glowing shade of blue or whatever, and they start running around all invincible-like, which is great, but it's really funny.
I think that the specials are really cool. I'm going to miss the old ones. Ink Strike was awesome. I really liked Bomb Rush. I mean, they had a type of Bomb Rush.
Oh
but it just didn't look the same.
I like that, the bomb one. Like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. Like, it was kind of like
throwing
it is cool.
Water balloons kind of thing. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
It's like a balloon cannon.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cooler than Bomb Rush.
Yeah, it does look cooler.
But I missed some of the more standout ones from the first game for sure. Killer Whale, man, Killer Whale.
I missed the Kraken.
The Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
I'm gonna release the Kraken now.
I mean, I'm glad they're bringing in these new weapons or these new super weapons, but it's just or special weapons. That's what it is. But why? I don't know. Why not bring some of the old ones too? Maybe they will later on. I don't know. But if you're keeping old weapons, why not? Anyway.
Yeah, why not keep the old specials? I get it.
I'm not the developer here, so I'll let Nintendo do their thing.
We want to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
So I can't say that word, but you guys can.
Hey! Did I say?
The first time I said it.
Yeah, it's okay.
There's a limit, David.
Okay, fine. They also revealed some cool new sub weapons. I mean, keeping on this whole weapons train of thought, they have a new auto bomb, which is kind of like the Seekers from the first game, except it will actually straight up find an enemy and follow them. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of gameplay footage of how that actually works, but I think that's a pretty cool sub-weapon. And then we also have the Toxic Mist, which, fills the area with a poisonous mist, which reduces the ink of opponents that get in range and make them move slower. I think that the Toxic Mist is going to be really fun to use. What do you guys think?
I don't know. It doesn't look that cool.
The ones I was most disappointed in were the respawn ones.
Oh, yeah, the gear abilities?
The gear stuff. It didn't look like it really hurt them that much.
Right, there wasn't that much of a delay.
Yeah, it was literally half a second.
I was like, ooh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Time to stack 12 of those on my gear or something. Or 9.
Stack 3 of them. You'll never come out.
You'll never come back.
You'll never respawn.
Well, you get a whole second of lag now. Ooh, it's just not that scary.
I mean, for the most part, I think what they showed off is new enough to show people, yeah, this is a sequel. This isn't 1.5 or anything like that. It's no, this is the sequel to the Wii U hit, and like I said, they'll bring in more weapons going forward and stuff like that. I mean, they have that one umbrella one. I mean, what the heck? It's like a wacky umbrella. I don't know. That looks kind of fun.
The bubbles one looks so much fun, though.
Oh yeah, the bubble one too.
Yeah.
So we'll get.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, we'll be getting new stuff as the game goes on. And so at this point, even with some of the old things that they've already, we already know, I think there's still enough new content here to be, totally good.
I just have to bring up the umbrella weapon again, the Brella. I really like this whole idea of defensive weapons that they're adding into the game, just to kind of change up some of the things that you can do with your weapons. I mean, some of them have been more on the defensive side anyway. I mean, you've got like the snipers, which stay on the defense, get up high, and just hit people as they go. But the Brella, you get that shield that can block enemy ink, and then you can dash into people if you need to. I think that's such a cool way to expand, the meta of the game just by adding in new weapon types. But
oh yeah, totally. That's something I did want to see. And the fact that they showed this kind of, to me, shows that we're going to be making new weapons. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if I agree with snipers being a defensive weapon. I'm pretty sure that's offense, but I do agree with the umbrella being.
I mean, I'm more thinking along the lines, I guess, like that comes from my experience with Overwatch, where the snipers are placed in the defensive kind of support-ish category because they're not out up front doing all of the attack damage straight up. They're just kind of staying behind, getting people, picking them off, but whatever. I mean, the meta is totally different from Overwatch. It's just I've been playing a lot of Overwatch lately, so...
Fair enough.
That's where I get that from. So those are the new weapons. I think that they're really cool. They're like you said, James, it shows off that they've got a lot in store for what's going on. We've talked about this before, but I just want to mention again, I am so excited to be able to have different hair as an Inkling.
That'd be cool.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me more options.
I think
and different pants.
Yeah, different pants. There's just a lot of little details in this game. I mean, I don't know if you noticed when they were like choosing the characters, there was just a lot of like, I don't know, these moves and different like positions the Inkling would be in, and I don't know, it's kind of charming. So I don't know. Yep. I just love the game.
You ready to take them photos with your amiibo?
I feel like that's such a stupid features. Like, get to take pictures with your amiibo. What?
They got to do Miiverse somehow in the game, but yeah, it's
Miiverse isn't even on the Switch.
Exactly. They had to make their own Miiverse.
Which I think they went about it the right way, not with the Amiibo picture, but how they're going to have you can, draw the message, or you can have pictures and it'll be put up just like in the previous game.
You submit them, and then they like quality control them, I guess. I don't know.
They quality control them?
Well, I don't know if it would instantly just go up on the board. I would assume Nintendo's probably going to take a look at these pictures before they go up.
Oh, good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, but I guess as long as they pass that, it should be fine. I mean, they'll come up like how some people would have just like a picture when you would walk up to them in Inkopolis. Yeah. So they kind of showed that off here in the direct. So. I always thought they were great, and some of them are freaking hilarious, especially during Splatfest.
There's some really good ones.
I'm really glad that they're doing that. I also think that what's it called? Is it just Inkopolis? It's like Inkopolis Square or
Inkopolis
Avenue?
Square.
I think that it is. I like it better than the original Inkopolis area from Splatoon 1.
Really?
I mean, I actually really like how it's a full street, and I mean, it looks so much more alive in my mind. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved the old one too. I think I like this one better. But again, I haven't played on it, so I don't really know and can't make a definitive statement on that.
Like, for me, it's I feel like so you say it alive, and I guess in the point of there being Inklings everywhere, I guess so, but I don't know. I was just watching. It's like I don't feel like there's a whole lot of stuff here. But when I was looking back, I kind of realized there wasn't a whole lot of stuff in Inkopolis Plaza anyway. Huh.
Yeah, I just don't see as many like shops.
Yeah.
There's kind of like one guy you get all your stuff from, which is interesting.
Well, they did show off a different person for hats and for shirts and shoes, and Sheldon still has his own store. So
yeah, they have the food truck and
which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's really cool that you can eat something and then have bonuses within matches later. But
yeah,
I like that.
Again, this is something I just got to go in to see. But as of right now, I mean, it kind of does look a little. It looks a little barren.
I'm just trying to look through some of the other things that they talked about, just to see if there's anything else we need to mention. I mean, they talked again about Turf War, which we know about because we've played Splatoon. Ranked battles are still the same, except that you get your own score for each mode in ranked, which I think is a fantastic touch to, keep things fresh. Like, if you're not good at tower control, but you're really good at Rainmaker, you can have a really good Rainmaker score and not feel so bad when, your disability, that's really a poor word, but, your lack of skill in tower control doesn't pull your score down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really liked that announcement. They added league battles. We mentioned that already. They're 4-on-4 battles, which are pretty cool, which compete for ranked battle modes.
You can even play wirelessly now.
Yeah, yes.
They let you, and you get to play on whatever map and whatever setting you want. It's great.
Yeah. LAN play is going to be awesome. You can set up your own tournaments basically now. Just have people bring in their Switches, and you can have one that runs the camera account, and then the other 8 can connect up and play together. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited, and the new mode Salmon Run as well. It's looking good. I mean, the online play is going to be scheduled, but you can still play wirelessly, or via local wireless, and that's exciting. So I think there's just so much to look forward to this game. Can't wait to play it.
Because of Splatoon zombies.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Zombie rush.
By the way, David, you're at 6.
I'm at 6. What? Oh, you've been counting how many times I've said that word? I can't believe I said it again. Oh my gosh. I wasn't even paying attention.
Actually, I just made up that number. I don't know.
Well, maybe it is 6. Maybe one of our listeners will actually go back and count, because I'm not going to.
That'd be hilarious. But anyway.
And then they also revealed the Splatnet 2 app, which is part of the Nintendo Switch Online app. We need to talk about that a little bit. They actually gave us a release date on this app, which is July 21st. That was kind of interesting how they just did that, Like,
well, they didn't even mention in the Direct.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was in the press release.
In the press release. It's like, when it'll launch on July 21st, and then you'll have access to Splatnet 2. Okay. The Splatnet 2 lets you stay in touch with Ingopolis even when you're away from your Switch, which is really nice. You can see stage schedules, gear and stats. You can view your lifetime inkage. You can invite other players to join you in private battles and league battles and Salmon Run and Splatfest battles, as well as communicate with voice chat, which, you need to have your device and stuff to make that work. But this is actually inside the Nintendo Switch Online app, which, I mean, when they announced it, I thought it was going to be a separate app. But I mean, what do you guys think about Splatnet 2? You like the idea?
There's a lot of good things out of this, and there's definitely things that they're going to be doing well. I just need to have it in my hands to see if it flows well. But the fact that you can see how much ink you've splat and getting friends, seeing how or when people are playing, and control your character when you're not playing, in a sense, that's pretty nice. And I hope it works. I hope it flows well. It just all depends on how the Switch Online service does, really.
I think the most I'm going to use it for is getting the collectible gear.
Yeah, because you can put on back order, basically, the gear that's available in the app.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's also going to be useful for teams that are trying to become competitive, and get in the competitive scene of Splatoon.
Sure.
Because the stats are saved for the last 50 matches that you play, and
that's
contains like all of the information about the match. Like I think it has the final map layout of what the ink looked like. It has all of the gear that you and your team had, as well as all the gear that your opponents had, as well as the weapons and all of this other stuff. It's like a lot of information. So you can go back and say, okay, what worked, what didn't, why did they have the advantage on us, and how can we counter that? I think that's going to be very useful for these competitive teams.
Okay, let's do it. We're going to start a competitive team.
Okay.
We'll be called...
We the X's or we the O's?
No. We're the squares.
Oh.
No.
No. Our names will be the Splashers. Or Splash.
Splashers.
I'm fine with either one. And
The Splash Boys.
The Splash Boys. And I will be a duel. I'll have dualies. That'll be my weapon. And you can be whatever. I don't care because I'm the star of the show anyway. So
Skylar's going to be a roller.
A heavy weapons guy.
Heavy weapons. Yeah, I really like the idea behind Splatnet 2. I'm excited to get it. And I'm excited to try out the app when it launches on July 21st.
Yeah,
so,
I wonder if it'll launch with any other games alongside it, like maybe ARMS or something.
Yeah, I would imagine that they'd have to have some ARMS compatibility.
When you're watching the Direct, did you not like feel like the kind of the chat room or the room where you had like the different Switch accounts, kind of floating around? Didn't that kind of remind you of ARMS a little bit? How that room works? Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to be, and maybe ARMS will move to that eventually. I'm not sure, but it looked awfully similar. So I guess we'll see. And I hope and pray that this app is not convoluted as it's sounding. I mean, meaning that at least with the Hori headset, how we had to have all the chords and everything. I mean, sure, I guess it works, but I just kind of want it simple as possible. But whatever.
Yeah,
I agree. The simpler, the better. But I mean, as long as the UI is simple and it still offers me a ton of functionality, I'll be happy. But yeah,
which it looks like with Splatnet 2, it looks like there is a ton of functionality here. So
well, that's pretty much everything I had on my list for the Splatoon 2 Direct. Did I miss anything, or do you have any other thoughts?
Team Cake will rule and kill everyone, and then I'll have cake.
Not over my dead ice cream.
You mean your spoiled ice cream?
Oh, man.
Oh. See, no one wins there, David.
Freezer burnt ice cream?
Oh, no.
Melted ice cream cake?
Melted ice cream. No.
Neither team would win in that situation.
He died too young. What have we done?
Isn't that basically what Tres Leches is, cream-soaked cake? I mean,
who?
Tres Leches cake. I do. I mean,
three milks?
Yeah, three milks. 3 milks cake.
We're gonna need like 3 more milks.
Yeah.
How many milks do you have?
I have 4 of them.
Got whole 2%, 1%.
And sweetened, condensed, and evaporated. That's 5.
Way too many milk. That's too many milks.
You got too many milks.
Skim's not milks, it's water.
Oh.
I like skim milk, excuse me.
You like pouring water on things, I get it.
How dare you?
Whole milk versus skim milk. Go. That's the next Splatfest.
Yeah. That's what Japan should have done instead of pop versus rock.
No, that is divided. You got J-Rock and you got J-Pop. Which is better?
J-Rock all the time.
I love J-Rock. I personally think you go J-Rock Pop or J-Pop Rock, go right in the middle. But hey.
Pop Rocks.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Do they sizzle a little bit there, James? Those Pop Rocks?
Boom.
It just kind of sizzles in your mouth. No, I mean, Japan does their own thing at times. I mean, maybe they will have their own milk thing. Maybe they'll have a sponsored milk. Which milk brand do you like more?
They already had their milk tea thing.
Yeah, they had. Anyway.
They already had that covered.
Well, that's the Splatoon 2 Direct. The next Splatfest is milk versus milk. All right.
Milk v. milk.
Milk v. milk.
1v1 me, you skim. Oh, no.
Hey everybody, it's me, it's your friend David. I'm just hopping in the middle of the episode like I usually do, just to give you a quick rundown of some of the things that I need to discuss with you. I just wanted to say thanks again so much for listening. You guys listening and showing your support really means the world to us and really helps us keep going. We really do love talking about Nintendo, but knowing that there are at least a few people listening to us is great. I just want to talk real quick about getting the show out there and making sure that other people can find us. We don't have the resources to spend any money on advertising for our website or for this podcast in particular, so we really rely on word of mouth and, you guys to spread the word. If you guys could tweet out about this show using the hashtag virtualcast, that would mean a ton. Get your followers to at least check us out and maybe listen to this episode or another. You can share us on Facebook. I always post stuff on our Facebook, so you can check that out at facebook.com/Nintensity. All of our episodes go up there, plus tons of news and such. So if you would just share those episodes, that would be absolutely fantastic. Of course, you can always just talk to a friend. Hey, you like Nintendo? Well, I got this awesome podcast that you could listen to. We'd really appreciate any and all support that you could give us on that front. I also would like to point you to our Patreon again. I know we keep doing this a lot, and I promise it's not to beg and hound you for money. It's just we've got some cool rewards starting for our patrons, like getting these episodes a few days early. I've been pretty much getting them out on the Friday before they come out, so you can have access to these episodes and chat with us in a private manner. We're also going to start doing some bonus content that'll be available pretty much exclusively on our Patreon. So if you wanted to check us out on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/Nintensity. I want to plug our social media accounts real quick. You can check us out at facebook.com/Nintensity and twitter.com/Nintensity or @Nintensity, however. We've been trying to build up those fronts, and checking us out and liking and sharing our stuff is the best way to help us get known and to help support us. Well, I think that's pretty much it from me this episode. Check out our show notes at nintendo.city/EP58. It'll have lots of cool information and other things for you to check out. And I guess that's it. So don't get cooked, stay off the hook, I guess. We'll get back to the episode. Well, let's move on to our next topic, which we'll spend the next 20 minutes or so talking about. And that is the Zelda DLC Master Trials for Breath of the Wild. We talked about it a bit last week. We talked about what we were expecting it was going to be like and how we felt about what we'd already seen. And it came out literally 3 hours after we talked about it? No, maybe even 2.5 or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
So we literally just went all and downloaded it right after we finished recording.
I was like, I'm going to go to bed. Oh, well, you can download the game in an hour or so, James. That's a fragga.
Guess I'm not going to bed.
Guess I'm not going to bed tonight.
So I just want to say how far I've gotten. I've gotten all of the DLC armor, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to play because we went out of town on the 4th. So I got through the beginning and middle trials, and I've started the end trials and died and kind of had to go out of town and haven't been able to pick it up since. How far have you guys gotten?
I found all the gear, went through the beginning and the middle, but I've been letting my sister play a lot of Zelda lately.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's really cool.
She never wants to play games, and then she wanted to play Zelda, so
is she
I let
liking
her
it?
borrow my Switch. Yeah, it seems like my siblings are playing more of the Switch right now than I get to right now. Between Evan playing ARMS and my sister playing Zelda. I mean,
And you're just in your room playing Xbox 360 or whatever.
Well, I'm in my room playing whatever I have on my 3DS right now.
I do have to say real quick, we're going to review ARMS another time, but when I was out of town on the 4th, I took my Switch up to the cabin, but I didn't have any time to play Breath of the Wild because my little cousin, who's 5 years old, all he wanted to do was play as the robot, my robot, from ARMS. He wanted to play as Bite and
Really?
Bark. The entire time that we had to play on the Switch, it was just a couple of days for a couple of hours when we weren't doing anything else. He just wanted to play as Bite and Bark. And as a 5-year-old, he cleared level 2 by himself, which was pretty impressive.
Nice.
And yeah, but
You
anyway.
know, Bite and Bark does seem like to be a toy line or something. You know, you got like the police officer with his dog, and there's a kind of a cute dog. You know what I mean?
And the dog
makes sense.
jumps on top of his head when he enters into the special punching, you know?
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So
But anyway, back to Zelda.
So I finished Trial of the Sword. I finished it on Saturday, and I only died once, and that was in the very beginning. But I was surprised by a few things, like how how you have the breaks in between. Not talking about like ending of the the beginning, medium, and
Right,
final.
like the rest levels where they had food and stuff for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice, and it kind of said, okay, you got this far. Can you prepare to get farther? And I had to think, okay, how am I going to cook this fish, or how am I going to use these apples wisely? And I really liked that, and kind of brought a new survival aspect to it. And I liked the puzzles that they had, or at least the different like environments. The beginning trials were just kind of like to get you used to it for the most part. But then when you get the medium and the final, you get a little more challenging and deadly environments.
Right.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. And can I offer a tip for the very end? Make sure you save your ancient arrows.
Okay.
Well, I
Will
mean,
do.
use them sparingly. Make sure you have some for the very end.
Well, I stopped using ancient arrows in my regular playthroughs simply because I didn't get any loot when I would use it on anything but Guardians. And so
I didn't know
have,
you could use them on anything but Guardians until the trial. I was like, oh crap! Oh hey, it died.
I'll
Perfect.
probably end up using one on like a silver moblin or something, just to get it over with.
Don't do it.
or a Lynel, maybe. I don't know.
But anyway,
Disintegrate a Lynel.
yes, that's it. No,
Well, it really bugged me because okay, real quick, I have a story. I was grinding for star pieces just by killing Lynels because I also needed Lynel hooves and guts. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to try an ancient arrow. This is the first time I tried using an ancient arrow on anything but a guardian in my main playthrough. And he, disintegrates and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. I beat him really fast. Where's all his loot? And so I never did it again. That's my story.
The end. I gotta say, I think Trial of the Sword is probably my favorite kind of labyrinth, kind of a Zelda thing. Better than the Wind Waker and the Twilight Princess one, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
Just because you have that factor of everything's taken away for you, and some people may think, oh, I have all these hearts, it's gonna be too easy. No, because you're so used to having all this armor on that one little hit it goes to, instead of like a quarter or half a heart, it's 4 hearts now, or even more. And sometimes enemies will randomly hit you with all this damage because you didn't realize they had this really strong bow or something like that. And I feel like there's just a lot of surprise and what's the strategy behind this, instead of just making sure you don't die. I guess that's basically what it is, but I don't know. I really like the reward at the end. I heard some people complaining about it, but I think it's rather cool, and there's a really cool Easter egg at the end with the Master Sword. So I hope you are able to see that eventually. I I like it.
Cool. Yeah, I really want to get it done. I really, really like it. It has been such a fun challenge. I've learned that my whole strategy of just running in and hoping for the best doesn't work all the time. Especially when I'm up against 4 moblins at once that are all black, and I have nothing on me at all. Yeah, don't do it.
What's been your favorite environment so far, guys? Just in the trial so far.
Aesthetic wise, I love the stormy area. I think that is such a fun challenge because you only have the stall enemies to fight in that area, and well, there are 2 lightning keys or electric keys, whatever they're called. But I really love this whole idea of, okay, well, now you can't really use your metal weapons without, being hit, basically, with lightning. And it's great. And you can't climb up the buildings very fast because you slide down. And so there's just this whole extra level that you have to be careful of. That's my favorite area so far.
Yeah.
That one's a good one. I liked, the dark room. After you finish, you get some really good items.
Oh, yeah.
So
the dark room was a blast. It is dark and everything, and you replay that same Hinox thing.
Oh, Hinox.
Yeah.
But he's a level higher. Which
Right.
is pretty cool.
That was so fun. I loved that. I really did.
Yeah. I liked having the tall buildings around for some of those dark levels, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of was a new way to think and play, and I really liked it.
That was funny because the monsters can see you just fine, but you can't see them.
Dang it, they can see in the dark.
Like, crap.
Oh crap.
Got dark vision.
For me, I like both of those. I'm gonna name 2. One being the wind tunnel current thing. How it's always an updraft going on in the shrine-like area.
Yeah, that one was cool.
Yeah, I like those ideas that they had there, and they had the bokoblins all had these special arrows, and you just had to make sure you didn't get hit. I mean, I don't know. It was a lot of fun, but the one that I really, really liked, oddly enough, was the snow area.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That's towards the end of the final one, I think. Or maybe not.
Yeah, it is. I've gotten there, and then the Lynel just one-shot me because I was being dumb. That's where I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll say this. It's I see that it's nope, ancient arrow. I was like, nah, I ain't dealing with that.
Oh, heck no.
Heck no.
I was expecting him to be silver, but yeah, he's still pretty tough.
Well, I mean, I just
right.
I didn't want to have the possibility of me dying there. So it's just no.
Right, after working so hard in those last few areas, I totally understand.
No, but why I like the snow area was because your armor basically wasn't enough to keep you warm, so you had to make sure you had the right food. And in the previous rest area, they gave you stuff that was that kind of prepared you for the cold, so you kind of knew it was coming, so you had to make sure you prepared right. And then when you get there, you have to look at how much time you have before your food, your cold resistance is gonna run out. So and I really like that aspect of time and fighting the elements, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I really like it when it challenges you on your ability to survive in the environments as well. I mean, they have the lava environment, which was cool, and I had forgotten that I had a couple of elemental items to take on those taluses, like when I went through there. Those are
so key, man.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I can freaking freeze the Igneo Talus and I can climb on him without getting hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was literally dropping bombs on top of him as I was flying across with my paraglider for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Darn, I missed. Okay, here we go again. Yay, I got it.
Impressive.
Yeah. When I got to the Ice Talus, that's when I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I could do this. So I do think that the Trial of the Sword is really fun, and if you've played through Breath of the Wild and you want to go back and give another shot, I would definitely recommend playing through Trial of the Sword because it's a lot of fun and it requires a lot of, thinking and figuring out what you're going to do to plan ahead. So highly, highly recommend it. I still need to finish it, but I will soon. I do want to talk a little bit about hard mode. I started a hard mode file. It was really fun, and then I was like, I don't have time to keep playing because I had to, go out of town and all that stuff. But I have to say, one of the coolest things that they've done is they put a Lynel in the starting area.
Why?
Yeah. It's hard mode,
It's hard mode, baby.
We're starting you off with death.
It's a Lynel. Yeah, man.
I thought that was a cool addition. But yeah, it's definitely
cool.
a lot harder than regular mode.
My brother's been playing through hard mode since he got his file or whatever. But he is doing Trial of the Sword in hard mode now.
Oh, really? Yeah. He's gone that far?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's kicking his butt, but it's fun. It's funny to watch. It's fun watching him. So.
Oh man, I was just wondering the other day. I'm like, how would Trial of the Sword work in hard mode? And there you go.
Yeah, all the enemies are kicked up a notch. So.
Yep.
Oh man,
up a stage.
He couldn't make it past the first room on a couple attempts.
Oh gosh,
wow,
that's rough. I haven't played it at all. Like I said, I kind of Zelda'd out. I mentioned that in the last podcast, but I don't know if I'm ready to go back and start from the beginning again. But the Trial of the Sword was a nice, new challenge that I felt like was, I could really enjoy. As far as doing the game over again in hard mode, I don't think I'm quite ready yet. But I'm also a little scared because it's so hard.
Well, that's okay. It's totally fine. You should give it a go eventually, but yeah, do it when you're ready. Are there any other thoughts on the Zelda DLC? I mean, there isn't a whole lot of content to really talk about. We've already talked about the Trial of the Sword, and hard mode is just harder regular mode. So
I just love how the Tingle outfit scares everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's right. We got to talk about the armor a little bit.
Well, I mean,
it scares everybody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's hilarious. I mean, I would be scared if a grown man in tights came up to me and just started talking to me and be like, I'm uncomfortable. But I think it's a nice touch. And I also like Majora's Mask. I was actually goofing off with a bunch of Bokoblins the other day, and I got like 10 of them to start like following me. they just sniff you and they just like walk, and 10 of them. I need to take I should have taken a picture. I didn't do it, but it's so funny. And that freaking Yiga clan came in. He was like, "What's up, my Yiga?" And he totally messed everything up.
I'm gonna kill everything with this mask.
So wait, no.
Moon falls down. Yep. He's like, "Oh, you messed up now."
Anyway, I that and the Korok seed, those three things were the best armor out of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really like them. I think they're cool.
I really like the Phantom armor.
Phantom armor is cool.
It's an attack up, and then I don't have to wear the barbarian clothes. So I mean, like plus.
Hey.
I do wish that you could upgrade these armor sets. That's one thing that kind of disappointed me about them, but they're still so cool looking that it doesn't really matter in the long run. Oh, if I need the high amount of armor, I can use the other sets.
You can't upgrade the Phantom armor?
I've tried upgrading. None of it is upgradable.
Oh, that sucks.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And why in the world would you ever use any of these?
I don't know, maybe if you find it in the middle of the game before you're at the point where we are, with all of our hearts and all of the upgraded gear. I don't know. It's also just cool to use.
Because I want to be a fairy! Kululipa!
I'm also very glad that I got the Majora's Mask amiibo and the Skyward Sword amiibo because I love walking around as Fierce Deity, and I also got Fierce Deity's sword. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for the Zelda DLC, unless you guys have any other thoughts.
Good.
You should get it. I think it's worth the $20, plus you get the next set of DLC that'll come out in December. And Trial of the Sword's really fun. Master mode. Hard mode is really fun, and the DLC outfits are really cool, so you should get it. Before we end this episode, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Your support means the world to us. We want to give a shout out to our patrons, Chris and Chase, for their amazing support. None of this would be possible without any of your help. If you want to join with them in supporting the podcast, head over to patreon.com/Nintensity. Again, that's patreon.com/Nintensity, and you'll have immediate access to a bunch of our rewards, like getting these episodes early. That's it for this episode of the Virtual Boys podcast. Thanks again for tuning again this week. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, and we'd also like to remind you to check out our website at Nintensity.com, where you can find news, show notes, editorials, and more. This week's show notes are going to be available at nintendo.city/EP58. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Whatever.
Goodbye, you good people.